A treasure chest. Shall we see if we can't make our way over to it?
Sir, ought you not be in... Ah, forgive me. You're not a patient, are you? I suppose you must be a visitor. 'Tis a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Eleanor. I have the privilege of serving as abbess here. I regret that I cannot offer you a cup of tea, but I'm in the middle of making my rounds of the patients. Not to mention, I have to find the means to procure more medicinal ingredients. Oh. You wouldn't happen to know someone willing to brave the roads, would you? I know 'tis perilous, but there is one ingredient in particular we cannot afford to run out of. You would procure it yourself? I am grateful beyond words, sir. In that case, might I trouble you to bring me some miasmite? The slums are a bane to the body's humors, and its residents are oft prone to illness. We do what we can with what little we have, but we're always short on helping hands. Your aid is most appreciated, sir. May your search prove fruitful.
Tell is, miasmite can be harvested from phantoms, monsters that wander the world at night.
I think I get the idea.
Mayhap I really would have been better off a baker.
How do you fare? Would you hear my request? A pity, but I shan't press you. Where does the road go?
A crime committed here will see one confined to jail.
As I understand it, the pay of a jailer is miserable for all...
Yes, sir. Have you procured what I asked? Splendid. You've my gratitude. Unfortunately, I can give you little more than that. Forgive me, but I must return to my rounds directly. Ah, but in place of a reward, mayhap I could give you a tour of the premises. Only if you've the time and inclination, of course. What say you? Would you care to accompany me? As servants of the gracious hand, we provide whatever treatment we can to those unfortunate who are stricken by maladies. Yet, at times, 'tis not enough. Perhaps you will recall the parents who were here when you first arrived, an unfortunate pair. They've suffered no few hardships in the slums, and now even their poor son Lubomir has fallen ill. By chance, he was examined by a roaming man claiming to be a doctor. Yet, the family had not the money for the medicine he required. So, he was put into our care.
Here you are, Master. I hope you like it. I found it myself.
Here he is. This young man is Lubomir. We've been administering the medicine recommended by the doctor who examined him, but he has yet to show any sign of recovery. To be perfectly honest, I doubt the soundness of that so-called doctor's judgment. After all, there is no shortage of ne'er-do-wells out there, willing to claim their medicine the only cure, that they might inflate its price. But I suppose I ought not say such things so openly. At any rate, I'd best continue on my rounds. Pray, stay as long as you wish. Come, come. We've medicine to prepare. We've enough to make a fresh batch now, thanks to a kind donation.
Psst! You there! Help me! Listen, the sisters here are good to us, but I'm growing weaker day by day. It started with a slight fever, and now I can scarce lift myself up. See that empty bed? An old man was lying in it till just a few days past. He told me he was feeling better, that he'd be well enough to leave anon. And now he's... Mayhap I'm just imagining things. I hope that's the case. And yet... something isn't right about this place. Pray, should you hear any queer rumors about the Gracious Hand, come tell me of them, won't you? I'd see to it myself, but I can hardly move.
Ah, Sir Arisen. I've been meaning to speak with you. Did you, perchance, pay a visit to the House of the Blue Sunbright? I see. After the rather strongly worded letter I received, I feared as much. 'Twas under unique circumstances, shall we say, that Daphne came to reside with us. You must understand, the House of the Blue Sunbright is our most generous benefactor, and their favor hinges upon our continued discretion. Thus, for the sake of all who reside herein, I beg you to steer Daphne away from any further contact with that household. Though it pains me to perpetuate the girl's misfortune, it must be done, if the Gracious Hand is to continue to function.
You would gather materials here, Master? Can we really afford to carry more?
Do you perchance remember me? You once knew me as maid to the young master, Sebastian. Well, I'm his maid no longer. Though I meant no harm, the mistress saw fit to turn me out. Tell no other soul of this. But the girl I had you fetch was none other than Sebastian's own twin sister. Afeard of inviting conflict over their inheritance, Daphne's family branded her a cursed babe and sent her away. Yet the loss of her newborn child drove the mistress half mad with grief. She's been bedridden ever since. I had hoped the sight of her long-lost daughter might rekindle some vital spark within my mistress. But alas, 'twould seem it was not to be.
I thought you might like this, so I picked it up. Here you go.
Loyalty's just another way to save your
Just remember, I've somewhere to...
This looks as good a place as any.
I'd hasten home, were this not my duty.
I'd fain hear you speak on any subject, friend. Might I beg a favor of you? Oh, I see.
We must rest.
This is a thankless job, this.
Must you run so fast? I can hardly keep you in my sights, Arisen.
Might you be a friend of Lubomir's? He's seen better days, hasn't he? There has been talk of sending him down to the basement, should his condition fail to improve. That is, the basement sick room, where our most critical patients convalesce under the abbess's care. None of the other sisters are permitted entry, including myself. Teles. She gives the patients a special medicine. I know not what kind. At times I hear strange cries and moans drift up from below, which is to be expected. Those who come here suffer all manner of afflictions, you see. And yet, a part of me is afeared for them.
You would gather materials here, Master? Can we really afford to carry more?
So, the worst of us are taken to the basement. Mayhap that's the source of the queer voices I hear at night. And none save the abbess can enter? If the gracious hand has a secret, 'tis the abbess who keeps it, I reckon. You've done this much for me. Would you be willing to go further? I must find out what goes on down there. Oh, you've my thanks. I just can't stomach the thought of lying here not knowing. Of course, all the better should your search come to naught. But if you do find aught amiss down in that basement, it must be the abbess's doing. Should you find evidence fit to implicate her, will you help me see to it that justice is carried out? See, I've already reported my suspicions to the sentinels, and we've arranged a signal. So I beg you, sir, find the evidence you need, if it exists to be found.
To get to the bottom of what is happening at the Gracious Hand, we shall have to acquire evidence of any misdeeds.
That's just what I was thinking.
If I sleep on my woes, sets my thoughts.
Uh-huh. There's something written here.
Let's have a look then.
I've trained for this.
A good sleep will ensure...
This isn't much to go on. Maybe.
How might we enter the basement sick room?
Not a bad idea.
I don't tell half as many lies as my parents.
I'd hasten home, were this not my duty.
Winches on all sides. Busy with their own affairs. Well met, sir. Puts me in the mood for a song, it does. Wonder if it's too early for dinner. Ain't nothing but trouble lurking here.
I knew not what to think.
At least I have a full menu.
Either.
'Twas a fascinating tale, those mayhaps would serve us well to track down the former patients mentioned in these records of treatment.
You have my support.
Oh, someone help me. Jahan? Bruno, where have you gone? Oh.
Medicine? Medicine! 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 Now! Now! Now!
Let's move along.
Book I ought to be getting back to.
Lady Eleanor's a goodly person,
A saint like. Her earnest care saw me back to full health. I wavered between life and death for quite some time in that basement sick room, and she watched o'er me through it all, bless her. Can't say as I miss that basement, mind. 'Tis an eerie place, dark and shadowy, filled with the moaning of the sick. Suppose 'tis only to be expected, given the state of those assembled. I'm sure I was moaning too.
Elena. Ah, yes. The abbess of the Gracious Hand. A fine woman by all accounts. I was in her care once myself. But I must admit, I've always felt there's something off about her. You see, I was only a little under the weather when I entered her care. But then I started getting sicker and sicker till I was certain death would come for me. In the end, I survived, but methinks I was one of the lucky few. So many died down there. And once, I saw her, the abbess, meeting with a strange man. She handed him a large parcel, all wrapped up. And he gave her something small in return. You'd think 'twere medicine, but I'd not have bought medicine from a man like that. He had the look of a scoundrel about him. They were whispering, but I did hear one of them say aught about keeping quiet. 'Tis well suspicious, eh? Where'd they meet? 'Twas in the square in the eastern part of the common quarter, and always a night, as I recall.
I'll gather this. It might be of use.
This armor's seen better days.
Here.
Aye, this is plenty. Lord Phasus is like to be in your debt. Nicely done. Suppose it can't have been easy to procure this much so quickly.
You suppose wrong. I command their full faith. 'Tis simple for me to extract what I require.
Ha! You're a fearsome one. Here's hoping I ne'er end up in your care.
Enough. I gave you yours, now you give me mine. I'd not be seen here with you.
Ah, of course. Wouldn't want to hurt the Lady Saint's image in the eyes of the common folk, would we? Here's your special medicine.
Glad we understand each other. Till next time.
Aye, be seeing you.
Lord Phasus. 'Tis a name of great import, that I am certain.
I'm not sure what we're dealing with here.
But not the expense of my duty.
Wonder if anyone notes if I stay here a bit.
You're back. Pray, tell me, have you found anything? What? You found a medicine used only in the basement sick room? I don't like the sound of that. Do you think... Could I trouble you to look into this as well? Mayhap you could show it to the doctor I saw before coming here. Radcliffe, his name was. He's staying in the rest town. Pray, sir, do what you can. I must know.
Methinks we would do well to bring this medicine to Sir Radcliffe, the doctor over in the rest town.
Right you are.
just nodded off for a moment there.
Shall we get some rest then? Now we've the vim to tackle the day ahead.
Off we go then.
Why is this not seen? It is a fine thing.
I can but trust my fate. The rules I had to order.
It's been a hard day.
Try all of my... Who are you then?
There's adventure to be had.
Ox carts make for relatively safer travel.
They can be most convenient, though they only travel during the day. Forgive me, but there's another matter I've been bursting to speak of. Namely, look at 'em. Around, it strikes me that we pawns are all men. I wonder if this speaks to the arisen... Oh, there!
We have no means of exploiting our enemy's weakness. I shan't allow any further harm to come to you. My magic imbue your weapon with the fury of the elements. That was a skillful bit of thievery. You do your vocation proud.
Over so soon? Why, we seem to have come through unscathed.
We mustn't allow ourselves to become complacent. Take each trial as it comes.
How dare you!
quite a large boulder. I think things will budge if we combine our strength. Oxen are to be found here, of all places. Drenched, eh? Can't say I envy you. That's the spirit.
I will protect you.
You are mighty indeed, Arisen.
I've just recalled. I found a treasure chest near here during my travels beyond the rift. May I show you to its location? All creatures who know death cling to life!
Is it a wonder any foe challenges us with the Arisen in our midst? Come to think of it, different masters favour different pawns. One whom I served preferred to have beastrons for allies. To arms! Right where I want you.
One of us has been drenched!
I'm all for smelling the roses, but just now I'd rather press on.
There's enough to make camp only when the moon rises. Let me get that.
And here I was, hoping for some great treasure. Now I feel a fool.
You cannot expect gleaming treasures round every corner.
I felt certain I would find you here, Arisen, and it seems I...
If we've a destination in mind, an ox cart would get us there with little effort.
Well, we've few other means of transport at our disposal.
I shan't let them harm you.
Together, we are indomitable.
Once more.
There are useful ingredients to be gathered here, old ranger.
Shall we see if they let my magics grant you an elemental boon? Master! Saurians!
Shame I've never gone to this boat. Are we all in the same boat? The wizard's soaked to the bone.
Why, thank you. I wanted to thank you for all you've done for me.
You're welcome to take whatever you like from my pack, Master. I'd gladly see you put what I find to good use. I shan't allow any further harm to come to you.
got a good feeling about this one.
I shall lead the charge! I'll put an end to this bowmaster.
That's enough.
It was well worth the effort of breaking it. Have my protection!
Would seem our fight is not yet done.
Battle cannot be avoided. Fight or die.
Fear not, it is well in hand. Let us see what you're made of! How might we approach yon spire?
Climbing it would grant a clearer picture of our environs. Dare I say it? We trounced our foe well and true.
Well, I'm sure there's still room for improvement.
In traversing other worlds, I came to know of a treasure chest in this area. The chance you'd like to see it? I shan't let them harm you. Let my magic imbue your weapons with the fury of the elements. Well caught, Arisen. Few more victories like that, and we'll have a run-in for the hill.
That was impeccably timed, Arisen.
If you are in need of aid, pray say the word.
Would that ox carts were a bit safer. And a bit swifter, too.
I, for one, welcome the chance for it. Let me be the one to collect it.